you can just concentrate on the flow of sound. American Indians often do that when they're encountering a stranger, because they can tell more about him from the tone of his voice than what he says. He may be lying. So you can listen to the tone of my voice and find out whether I'm putting something over on you. It's the tone that is important, you see, fundamentally. It's the music that finally counts in life. As I was explaining yesterday, one may regard the universe as a musical phenomenon. That it is a huge system of extremely complex vibrations, which is playing. And that's what it's all about. Just you don't ask, what does Mozart mean? You just listen to Mozart. It's great. So you don't ask what the universe means. Well, now, in a way, this meditation method of just letting your mind alone and let it go where it wants to go, the problem of what to do about yourself vanishes, because there is no separate self. Thereafter, the most fascinating thing that follows from this is that you can keep up meditation while thinking. This is why a Zen master can also be a scholar and an intellectual. Because the way he does his thinking is exactly the same way as he sweeps the floor or meditates. There is no illusion of a thinker doing the thinking. There is just the thinking process. And therefore, he doesn't get misled and bamboozled by his thoughts. So you see, it's very important to emphasize this, because the process of meditation is not anti-intellectual. In fact, it is, I would say, a basic requisite for leading the intellectual life. Because the person who lives the intellectual life is, of all people, the most liable to be bamboozled with words. And that's the besetting danger of all academicians. That's why they get so stuffy and dowdy and but I don't think that's true. At least it's oversimplifying the matter. If you've got an intellect, you must use it. It's a divine gift. It's a talent. And nobody can make the sacrifice of the intellect unless they've got one to sacrifice. A lot of fanatics think they've made the sacrifice of the intellect and say, I've given up my private opinions and I'm purely obedient to Holy Scripture or whatever, authority. And that's a lot of, if I may say so, bullshit. Either they haven't thought it through, or else they are concealing from themselves that their obedience to Scripture is at root their own personal opinion. So there isn't this antagonism. It's if you've got an intellect at all, it's very important that you think things through as far as they can be thought through. But you see, your intellect will eventually tell you its own limitations. It will, in other words, say, I have a certain function as intellect, just like the dial on the telephone has a certain function. And if you spell out questions about the existence of God on the dial of the telephone, you'll be told to go to hell. That's not its function. And so you can easily see, as I've tried to explain to you, that the thought process has limitations. That there are things it will not do.